Hey everybody, good morning. It's Chris here, and it is morning. Wow. I haven't done one of these, I think, early in the morning, but today was just a really good day. I had really good sleep. I woke up to a really nice text message, and man, it just really got my day started really good. One thing I've learned over the years is like, if you're at night, if you're say at nighttime is like, I think it's when like a lot of people do like the most thinking. And if you're upset at night, please don't send a text that when somebody wakes up in the morning it'll ruin their whole day. That's what I learned, that I should not do that. I used to do that. I used to start thinking and I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna tell her. Oh, I'm gonna tell her exactly how I feel. Even if I thought I was like being nice. And looking back, if I were to analyze those texts, were they really nice? I would say no, they weren't really nice. They were pretty mean. So now I don't send text messages at night. I cut myself off like about 8 or 9 o'clock. Usually I do, right? I mean, I can't. If I'm just gonna ask, if I want to know a legitimate question, maybe a business question, and I think that maybe that person might be awake, then I'll try them and see if they don't mind taking a phone call, right? Or if I really want to drink. But when it comes to like relationships, and I know that person's already said, hey, good night, I'll talk to you tomorrow, and I'm here, necio, right? Necio, trying to prove my point. It's really not a good time to send a text. So anyway, I woke up this morning to a really good text, and it was like really, really nice, and it just put me like in a more positive attitude, right? Not that I relied on that person to put me in a positive attitude, but that action of somebody actually sending a nice text had to have come from in my opinion, a greater source. So the fact that she listened to that greater source to text me something positive early in the morning, and that I woke up to that, is the connection from me to my source. So anyway, I'll keep moving on. I don't want to get too much into that, but I will say I did learn that early on. Not early on, actually. I wish I learned it earlier. I learned that like I haven't been doing that for a while now, so I'm really grateful to have learned that. So here we go, June 20th, release from fear. The problem of resolving fear has two aspects. We shall have to try for all the freedom from fear that is possible for us to attain. Then we shall need to find both the courage and grace to deal constructively with whatever fear remains. That's from As Bill Sees It, page 61. Most of my decisions were based on fear. Like sending that text late at night, yep, that was fear-based. Alcohol made life easier to face, but the time came when alcohol was no longer an alternative to fear. One of the greatest gifts in AA for me has been the courage to take action, which I can do with God's help. After 5 years of sobriety, I had to deal with a heavy dose of fear. God put the people in my life to help me do that, and through my working the 12 steps, I am becoming the whole person I wish to be, and for that I am deeply grateful. Man, that sounds like something I would have wrote, right? Personally, that sounds like something that I would have wrote. Of course, it didn't take me 5 years. It took me a whole lot longer than that. Folks, it don't have to take you 5 years, okay? I just want to say that. It took me a long time, but don't get discouraged. It doesn't have to take you a long time. Just work the 12 steps, all of them, 1 through 12. Don't skip one. Don't work them out of order. Just work them 1 through 12. All of them. And give it your 100%, whatever that looks like. Maybe your 100% today looks like yesterday's 40%. Who cares? Just do it. Maybe don't worry about tomorrow. Just worry about right now. How much you got to give. Give it all to this program. Put your recovery first, and you will see how everything else will come to pass. Why? Because my recovery put me in a relationship with my higher power. So I want to talk a little bit about this, right? So, the topic. So fear, yeah. This in the Torah it says that fear is the chief activator of all my defects. Once I get into fear, I get into all my defects, right? Everything. I try to hold on to things. I try to manipulate things. I try to control things. I try to say things. I try to do things. I try to text people in the middle of the night. I'm going to show you. I'm in control. I'm going to have the last word. Blah, blah, blah. That's me. Okay. Enough. Why? Because that's the stuff that would keep me drunk. That's the stuff that takes me out. When I wake up, when I finally wake up in the morning and I say, oh my God, what did I do? I just text that person all these mean things, but I didn't really mean them. I was just mad. Okay, you were mad, but you were really in fear. You were really in fear that you were not going to get the last word. You were not going to get hurt. You were going to lose that person, which you already did because your character just showed that you can't keep up with this person. If you're texting that person in the middle of the night and that girl has to wake up, or guy or mom or dad has to wake up in the morning, like, are you serious? You really texted? This is what you think. This is what your thoughts told you. Yeah, that's what my thoughts told me. Why? Because it's fear. It's all fear. Right? So alcohol did help me with that for a second. Because I don't know. One thing that I couldn't handle really good was rejection when I first got here. Rejection put me in a lot of fear. And the more that happened, the longer I get, especially me being the person that I entrepreneurial from the heart. I didn't learn how to do. I didn't know how to take rejection really good when I was young. So I thought a no meant like you're not good enough. You're too short. You're too poor. You're too fat. I thought that's what no meant, and all the other people say were like no, and not even like in a sick way. Just no, like not at this time. I'm sorry you weren't chosen for the position. We went with somebody else. Okay, that's cool, right? And I didn't know to go look for another job or go go seek another person out for a relationship or maybe apply to a different college. I didn't know about stuff like that, man. I took those things as like, man, I'm not worthy. And all that stuff, it just got me more and more, put me more and more out there. Because I tell you what, man, you go into a bar and people will be like, sit right here. And because they want you to buy them a drink, they want you to get them drunk. Then they want you to get them high. And then they want you to leave them alone. Just the truth. And then they want you to leave them alone. And then you're stuck there broke, no money, no nothing, no nada, no life. Right? No relationships, no college education. 2 days turns into 2 years, and before you know it, 20 years later, you're still in the same place, hanging out with the same people. And what have you done with your life? See, man, I'm so grateful that I made it to this program, however I made it. And if you're listening to this message, this is your dose. Not that I'm going to keep you sober, but this is your dose. People, stop wasting your time. Get out there, live. Who cares if they say no? Go to another one. My pastor always say this. There's 4 billion people in this world. All different kinds, size, shapes, characters. Go find you one. Go find you something to hang out with. You can. If those say no, they weren't your tribe. Go to the next person. Keep it moving, man, but don't ever stop. Don't give up. So alcohol helped me when I did that exact thing. I gave up, and it I was like, come here, it's okay, it's gonna be okay. Forget him, you don't need him. We'll go search somebody out next time. And then it's like, okay, I'll see you here tomorrow, right? This is alcohol talking to me. And it's like, okay, I'll see you here tomorrow. It's like, okay, I'll come tomorrow. Alcohol's there, and alcohol's like, hey, how did it go? Yeah, fuck him, yeah, you don't need him, right? And then we get more drunk, but alcohol's like, I'll see you there tomorrow. And next thing you know, you're hanging out with alcohol, telling them the same story. You ever do that? You ever hang out with somebody who drinks and they just like tell you the same story over and over and over and over again? Right? Why? Because those are the stories we have. We don't have new stories. We have old stories only. Go make a new story. Go out there and make a new story. Tell alcohol, oh, okay, well maybe next week or maybe next month. Maybe next time, wait till maybe if I get a job, or maybe just put it off. Just put it off till later or till next time. Put the drink off till next time and get busy with living your life. Oh, it's morning. Got my coffee. So, all right, let's keep going here. Just a little bit more. All right. God put the people in my life to help me do... okay, no. I don't want to read that. One of the greatest gifts in AA for me has been the courage to take action, which I can do with God's help. Why? Because alcohol was no longer an alternative to fear. So how... Anybody ever heard of the Serenity Prayer? It's my favorite prayer. It's the first prayer I ever learned in Alcoholics Anonymous. In recovery, right? It says, God, grant me the serenity to accept those things that I cannot change. Courage to change those things that I can. And the wisdom to know the difference. So courage doesn't come easy for me. It never has. As a matter of fact, I stopped having courage. The day I gave up on my life and turned to alcohol for solution was the day I gave up on courage. And coming out of that, like a brand new, like a baby, coming out of my alcoholism like a baby, not knowing how to do anything, I had to start looking for a guide. And the Serenity Prayer was a great guide. It helped me to accept those things that I cannot change. There's certain things I cannot change. I might try to change people's minds because I'm in the business, right? I'm all about business. And do I try to not change their mind, but do I try to, talk to them enough so they cooperate with my ideas? Yeah, but they don't know. They don't always work because my ideas aren't always great ideas, right? So while I can't change their mind that time, I can maybe change my ideas, right? That's how. When you're making a deal or you're going back and forth, if I, what can I change? What are some of the things I cannot change? Well, that example that I gave you was like a business example, right? Because I do pitch a lot of ideas to my upper bosses. And, while they don't go for all of them, they help me work through it to where we could find a common ground, something that works, something that's more reasonable. Because I'm still new to it, and there's still things that I don't look at yet because I'm so fresh in the business. But I couldn't change my past. That was one of the things that I couldn't change, right? I couldn't come up here and tell you that certain things that happened to me didn't happen to me. I can come up here and tell you that I lived in a mansion when I didn't, right? I didn't, that was not my story. So that, I cannot change. I can't change my past, right? But I can change my future. And the wisdom to know that is what's going to get me to my next step. Right? I can stay here and play victim forever about what happened. And don't get me wrong, because I know that for some of us who've had like a hard past, I know that there's a process to healing, right? But the people who continue to stay victimized from their past are the people who have a harder time healing, right? And I will go to say that those are the people that never heal, because they continue to play victim to their past. And so believe it or not, even though the steps helped me with my alcoholism, the steps also helped me with everything else in my life. And if you read the step 6, and I'm going back to the step 6, right? Because we're still in the 6th month. In the 12 and 12, if you read on step 6, it says that, it says, damn, I just read it the other day too. Okay, now I'm gonna have to take my book out. Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna have to take my book out so I can read step 6. Alright, sorry about that. My phone fell in the sink. Hopefully, I didn't see the rest of my. I got a little bit of stuff going on here because I got a lot of things that I gotta work on this morning. But okay, step 6. This is the step that separates the men from the boys. So declares a well-loved clergyman who happens to be one of AA's greatest friends. He goes on to explain that any person capable of enough willingness and honesty to try repeatedly step 6 on all his faults without any reservations whatever has indeed come a long way spiritually, and is therefore entitled to be called a man, boom, who is sincerely trying to grow in the image and likeness of his own creator. Right? What does that mean? It says that we're willing to try this on other things besides our alcoholism. Right? Because we're not talking about alcohol no more. We only talked about alcohol in the first step. We're talking about our character defects. We talk about how alcohol has helped us stay where we were at. But now we're talking about the solution, step 6, which alcohol gets us out of there. Which step 6 gets us out of those places where alcoholism took us, right? So it's all about, for me, it's starting to talk about the alignment. Sorry, my dogs are outside on the patio, and it's a day off for a lot of people, so there's a lot of people outside and they love people. Let me see how long they take. Okay, they're done. No? Okay, so now we're talking about these defects, right, that we have, including fear, including the activation of our defects by our fear, right? So now, we're not talking about alcoholism no more. We're talking about our defects, right? So I can't change the past, and I can change the future. And the Serenity Prayer, it helps me get through that, because I didn't know that. I mean, I had to say it a million times. This guy in our reading today talked about it happened to him in 5 years of sobriety. I've been here a lot longer, folks, but it does take time. It might not be 5 years for you if you work the steps. It might not be 20 years like me if you work the steps, right? So, man, I'm sorry I got sidetracked by the dogs and then my phone falling, or my phone falling, then my dogs. But anyway, so let's get back to here. That's why I chose this book, so it could get me back here to talk about the topic. So it says, first we shall have try the freedom from this fear, right? Then we shall have find the courage and grace. There's courage again to deal constructively with whatever remains. So today I have certain fears. Yesterday I had certain fears, and tomorrow I'll probably have different fears. Why? Because different situations come to my life, right? And yesterday I had some fears of can't remember what my fear was yesterday. I'm sure I had a fear, and then today I really haven't had any right now, because I haven't been out in the world, right? And plus I'm learning while I'm reading these books to you guys. I'm learning too about myself. I'm learning about my future. I'm learning about what still got me stuck. I'm learning about what things that I'm doing still to overcompensate in my life, to overcompensate, trying to prove to others, or trying to, still chase things that don't want to be chased, that don't have to be chased, actually, like money, people, things. None of that has to be chased. If it is yours, it will come to you, and I know that, but I forget. I forget that if it is mine, it's gonna come to me. I don't gotta chase it. Guess what? If it is mine, wow, it's gonna come to me. If this is me and that is that, and I'm on the path, if I stay on the path, all I gotta do is stay on the path. I ain't gotta change nothing. If I stay on the path, and it's on the path, it's gonna happen. It's everything. Job, relationships, housing, everything. Everything. So I don't gotta worry. But I do. And that's what the Serenity helps me with. It's like, God, like, what can I, and I need the wisdom. At the end of Serenity Prayer, it says, God, and the wisdom to know the difference. Sometimes I don't know the difference. Sometimes I think that I can change people. What's a good example of changing people? Of me thinking that I could change people? You get into a relationship, here it is. Get into a relationship, you see a red flag, and you say, man, but once he's with me or once she's with me, he ain't never gonna do that again. Sorry, folks, that's not true. A person can't change unless a person wants to change. And if that person doesn't want to change, you can't make them change. That's not true. Can you help people maybe come to some idea? Yeah, but it's up to them to do anything with it, right? So you really can't change people. That's a good example of us trying to change people, right? Drinking and driving. That's a law that's probably never going to be able, you're never going to change. As a matter of fact, drinking and driving, when you get caught drinking and driving, the laws are getting so much more stricter that the consequences are worse. And they keep getting worse because a lot of people get killed over that. Mothers Against Drunk Driving and other people, they stand beside their children, their innocent children who are getting killed. It's a big freaking deal, folks. Don't drink and drive. But if you do know, you're going to pay consequences. If and when you get caught. But a lot of things could happen until then. I know a lot of things happened to me during those times I never got caught. I'm not proud of not getting caught. I caused a lot of mess. So anyway, so that's one of the things that you can't change the law, but can you change your way of drinking? Can you change the lifestyle you live with something called alcoholism? If you have alcoholism, can you change all that? Yeah, you can. But it takes courage. It takes courage. I know it does. It takes courage to look at myself. It takes courage to feel like I'm giving everything up to people I don't even know, to a program that I'm not even sure works. And try to understand a God who left me behind, who I think left me behind when I got here. I get that. I get that today. But what I also get from being here long enough, just as the guy in the reading, he was just there long enough, prayed long enough, stayed long enough, did these steps, right? He said as a result of the 12 steps, he didn't say because my sponsor was cool. He didn't say because I stayed here 5 years. He said as the result of the steps. The solution is in the steps, folks. That's where it is. I'm sorry, I hate to tell you. You go to meetings every day. Go ahead. It might help you maintain, but it's not gonna get you sober. The steps is what keep you sober. The steps that's where the process, that's where the healing comes from. That's where it takes. I've seen it. The steps take people from being totally creepy, totally sick, totally lost, to people who grow up in this program and become. They get married. They're succeeding in their jobs, opening their business. They're becoming musicians. I've seen people come in here with nothing and leave out totally a changed person, including myself. I might be a little messed up today, but I'm not the person that I was when I got here. Because when I got here, I was like hopeless, stinky. My eyes were all yellow. I couldn't make sense. I had nothing to give you. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. My stories were all about problems and pain. But I didn't have any of that. I needed I needed a power greater than myself. And what is that? What was that power in the world? In the beginning, the power was the steps. That's a power greater than myself. It asked me to do everything I didn't want to do. It asked me to do everything I never thought of doing. It asks all the steps ask me to do everything and leave nothing out, right? So I'm really grateful for my day-to-day. I'm grateful for what I've learned. I'm grateful that if I want, I can continue to learn. If I want, I can continue to stay sober. If I want, I can continue to live a wonderful life. And if I want, I can even go drink. But I don't want to. I don't want to right now. I don't want to yesterday. I was tired, but I had a really, really good day at work. I had a really good day. I hung out with some friends after work. Always a good time. Oh, and this particular person, she's in recovery, but she's so fun. Oh my God, she's so fun. And she might think that I'm fun too because she always calls me to hang out. Don't get it twisted. We're just friends. That's okay. That happens in sobriety. I hang out with people that are just my friends. That's awesome. And I have a good time. That's even more awesome. So I'm really grateful to have something that I can share with you folks. I hope that you got something out of it. I know that I got off track a little bit and my phone fell, my dogs barked, but hopefully you hung in there to 26 minutes. According to YouTube, most of you only watch about 6 or 7, and I try to keep these short, but man, I just had so much to say, and there's so much more I want to say. So I'll see y'all here tomorrow again on June 21st, and I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful to have this opportunity to share this message with you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.